Welcome to La Cultura Podcast. I'm your host, Alma and I'm here with my co-host, Manny Hernandez.
What's going on, guys?
Good morning, bro.
Morning, brother.
Today, we are going to talk about our top 5
Top
underground,
five.
underground,
This is already gonna
unsigned,
start. This is gonna
independent
start.
bachata
Independent what?
artists,
Oh God, let's do it. I'm
bachateros.
excited.
All right,
Bachateros.
guys. I just want to make a disclaimer before me and Manny start. These are obviously kind of biased. These are our favorites, our top 5s. We understand you might have your own top 5s, but we kind of base this criterion on how active this bachatero is, what projects they've put out, accomplishments,
hmm
style, whether they're different or not. They got their own thing going on. And I mean, there might be some more popular bachateros that are underground, but we're making this list based off of our judgment. So
Yep.
if you have your top 5, and maybe there's a bachata, because we don't know, there's so many bachateros out there popping up left and right that we don't know. Uh, Comment, let us know what your top 5 are.
Yep.
Mine aren't necessarily any specific order; they're just the way I want to introduce, the way in the order I want to talk to them about.
hmm
But yeah, this is gonna be our list.
Yep.
So so
Let's do it.
that being said, now that we have that out of the way, because we want to make sure that there's a lot of great artists. There's actually some bachateros I wish could have made this list for me, but they're just not as active as these other ones. Um,
Or maybe they're too big. These are the underground
yes,
guys.
exactly. We'll make some honorable mentions because there's some that even though they are independent, they're not underground anymore.
No,
No way,
in our eyes at least.
Kevin Cosmos, that
Yeah.
fool is
Right.
blown the up.
All right. You want to kick it off?
All right, so starting at number 5,
Okay.
JFab and Paola Faber. Is that how you say? I mean, I know that's the American way to say
Fabre.
it,
I think
Fabre.
it's Fabre. Yep.
So this is a duo in bachata, and I love bachata duos. I haven't heard one done quite as good since Monchi and Alexandra. Those take it for me when it comes to duos. These two sound awesome together,
Yep.
and they're a
I
couple,
agree.
which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. They're
Yep.
out there performing. They're out there releasing their music. They did a remix to Mia, which is really cool. It was really good. It was done well. I'm not really a fan of remixes, but I like their version a lot, and I think it's just because it's not just one person doing a remix, a bachata remix. It's a duo, so it's got some cool flavor and color to it. But
hmm
they definitely take number 5 for me.
Yep.
I've just recently found out about them thanks to Manny, um, with that challenge of putting out a playlist and putting a bunch of underground artists in there. And I'm glad that happened because I'm bumping to their music now. Their song Sinti takes it for me. I love that song, amazing song. But go check them out. They're out there performing. They're pretty active in in
Yep.
the community, and I think
I've
we're definitely going to be seeing more of them. They might
yeah.
even be they. I think within the end of this year they're gonna make a lot of huge major moves. I don't think they're gonna stay underground for too long.
Yeah, I don't see that happening because they're active, they're putting out music all the time. And on top of that, like I've talked to them on the phone and stuff like that, and they have a really good personality. Like
Yeah,
they're really humble
they
and they're
are.
very
They
they're
are.
very they're super lovely people. And I talk to them here and there, but they're doing the right thing and they have a good mindset. And I feel like they really care about bachata and all like overall, and their energy like lets that their music and the way they talk to people is just you feel it.
Hmm.
But I think I discovered them on the what's that playlist on Spotify, Bachata Rising.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right. Because I think they were on the
They're on
cover
the
art for
cover
that
right
too.
now. Yeah, but like couple, maybe a year ago or so, I featured them on my playlist like
How did I
as a
miss that?
couple.
I must have been
Yeah,
MIA. That's probably one of the times I was
yeah, it
MIA.
was probably yeah. I don't think you were around, but yeah, I put them on the cover and they put their song on there. But yeah, man, like their stuff is. It reminds me of Monchi Alexandra, but it's almost like a different swag, a different flavor. You know
They
what I
had a
mean? Like
different
it's.
swag, and their voice, Paola's voice sounds very different
Mm,
in a lot of ways. Also, I think I hope Alexandra never hears this, but I think her vocal range is I've talked a lot about this with a lot of people. Sometimes I feel like if you're too much of a vocalist,
Yeah.
then you're not good for bachata, because bachata is more of a of like,
You
I
gotta be a
like the
little
sound
bit
of the
rugged.
voice. It's more sentimiento than
Yeah,
anything. If you
yeah,
get
yeah.
too she's got a great vocal range, but she doesn't go crazy with riffs and runs, which is what I like about
Hmm.
her. And
No, I know what
and
you
J
mean.
Fat, yeah, I mean they both control their paths in the musical note scheme
Hmm.
pretty well. And
Hmm.
yes, like Paolo to me sounds they sound a whole lot different than Monchi and Alexander. They got that vibe, that whole like the harmonizing together at certain areas
Yeah.
and everything, but it's
Yep.
different. You can tell, like if you listen to them, you won't be like, oh, that's Monchi and Alexander. You're gonna be like, what, a new
No,
duo? Okay,
what's
who are
going on
these
here?
people? Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I like. I like it when I hear a new artist that's kind of in the same I don't want to say gimmick, but the same kind of thing, like
Hmm.
a duo, for example. And you're like, this doesn't sound like another. I mean, it sounds like they're filling the void for what's missing right now, which is a duo like that,
Yep.
a guy and a girl. But
Yep.
they're different, and I like that because I won't feel it. It will never feel like it will never feel to me as if I'm like, man, I want Monchi Alex. Well, I do want them back, but it's not like, you mean, hey, like these guys need to go. We need to get the whole thing back. It's like, no, these
Nah,
guys
these
can
guys
stay. You
they're
mean,
doing
and
their
they're
thing.
definitely filling that void for me, hands down.
Yes. Word. So my number five for me is this guy named Wadi Paz. I think he's from Venezuela, but he lives in Spain at the moment. He's currently touring with what's these guys' name? They're really popular in bachata. Let me give me a second. Let me see if I can find them.
Are they
There's
a
a
duo?
Grupo Extra.
Okay, yeah, yeah, Grupo Extra, yeah.
Yeah, I see them. I see him touring with them all the time now, and this kid has a crazy voice, like killer voice.
I gotta
And on
check him
top of
out.
that, yeah, he's really, really good. And on top of that, um, he's one of the few artists that I see that the video quality is extremely high.
Ooh, that's
Like for
big.
yeah, for a music video, I'm like, yo, like this guy is doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like he's over in Spain, and he's getting these videos that are like just phenomenal. And he's also a very cool guy, man. Like he's been working a lot, and he's got a couple songs out. But my favorite one from him, I'm gonna look it up right now, real quick. Good thing I have Spotify here,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
right?
gotta check them out. Video content is super important, I think, right now in this day and age
Yeah.
with bachata. Like Romeo's been dropping out all those music videos lately, and I think making a lot of uh buzz for bachata. And I like the way he is kind of releasing it. I think on a week to
Mhm.
week basis.
Yeah, he's doing
Um,
like a week to week or every 2 weeks. But I think the last video just came out with Luis
yeah,
Vargas,
with
right?
Luis, I knew
That,
you. Yeah, I know that was your
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
But this guy's song, Por tu maldito amor, like, bro, listen
Well,
to
I
that.
gotta check him out.
Yeah,
That's crazy,
you
man. See,
gotta love.
this is why we do these things, because there's so many bachateros, and I'm pretty active in looking around for anybody. Anytime I
Yeah,
run across a profile on Instagram and it's a bachatero, I'm following, because you
yep,
never know. You mean
yep.
these guys will put out something hot, and if you're not following, you'll never hear it. And I love
You're
bachata,
not gonna
so
hear him. Exactly. Like I've been talking to him for about a year, and he told me like right from the bat, he's like, "Yo, I'm doing everything by myself."
wow,
So he has no team behind him, and he's been grinding. And I see him right now on Instagram. He's the last time I saw him performing was in California. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. So
yeah,
yeah, keep an eye out for him. He's coming up.
sweet. All right, ready on the move to the next one.
Yes.
See, so number 4 for me, Vicente Cifuente from Chile,
Mm,
right?
from Chileno. He's a
Chile.
Chileno.
I'm
Yes.
wearing this Peruvian shirt, and I'm off for the love of bachata.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. It's cool. We knocked Chile out of the Copa America, so about that. Anyway, but oh yeah. So Vicente Cifuente, this guy, Manny introduced me to him. I think it was when we were doing Los Trovadores Volume 2. Was it?
Volume two, or we're gonna do them volume three or something like that.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
But this guy, me being half Peruvian, half Dominican, I've always wanted to fuse South American sound with bachata. I'm talking about like the pan flute, also just like the indigenous flute and all the other instruments we use there. We have a quinto. We have all these different kind of cool instruments that we use in South America, like Peru,
Mhm.
Chile, Colombia, and countries like that. And he nailed it. I listened to his music. I don't know. Is it an EP or is it? I don't know. I listened to all his
He
music
has
on.
two EPs right now. But I think it's called Bachata Local.
Yes, yes. Wow,
Yep.
like this is epic. The production behind it's insane.
Hmm.
The flute solos, everything about it was just. I mean, it's the perfect. If anybody wanted or ever was thinking about mixing South American music, South American indigenous music with bachata, he did it. He nailed it. That's like for me gonna be the staple of what that type of bachata. And because he did that, it's original and it's very unique and different.
Yep.
And
Yep.
me being Peruvian and Dominican, I felt both of my cultures being fused in there. I felt very Peruvian listening to it. I know he's from Chile, but we still share that same historical background in music. And I felt very Dominican at the same time. So
Hmm.
I was like, wow, this guy for me takes the cake.
Yeah.
Uh, he's
He.
also active and he's constantly releasing singles, always working on projects, and is definitely making a buzz on Spotify. He's
Yep.
definitely it's one of those weird things that I don't know how I don't know how far he'll get in this bachata industry. We can talk about that a little bit. I want to talk a little something about it at the very end of what I think the future is for these bachateros we're talking about.
Yep.
But he's definitely gonna get big enough of a listening pool to where he could just keep doing that and won't ever need to be signed.
Exactly.
He'll be like a kind of like a Vicente Garcia type of. I mean, he's kind of got that kind of vibe too, but
It's like
it's
an
one of the
indie
music. It's
bachata.
like, hey, this music probably will never play on the radio, but
Hmm.
millions of people are gonna listen to it and play it over and over and over again.
Yep.
So check him out, Vicente Cifuente.
Yeah. He's also on my list. Like I added him on the list, and the thing is with him, a couple things that I like about him. It's very earthy. The sound is very
Yes,
like earthy. Like you feel it, right?
yeah,
And
it's
on
got
top
some
of that,
tribal
yeah,
into it too.
it's not like, oh, let me overproduce it or every like there's no like you don't hear like the auto tune and the
No,
perfect everything. Like it sounds like a real record. And on top of that, one thing that I like about him is he's always performing,
yeah,
right? And he's always like collaborating with other artists in his little circle, which is really important, I think. And I like his artwork. His artwork is
yeah, dude, his
is
artwork's pretty
amazing,
cool.
man.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
it's
Yeah,
really cool.
in this
So
day
I
and age
like,
too, that's another thing too. Is like, oh, your artwork and everything is important
yeah,
now. There's a few people I follow that talk about social media and artists, and people are like, oh, it should always be about the music. It should be about the music. Well, like we live in a day and age where like aesthetics is important as well. You know what I mean? You got to represent bachateros in a good way, and you don't want to be throwing some. I mean, no offense to the greats, but all they could do was take a picture of themselves in a suit and a freaking box cut top, and you mean
yes.
pose in front and be like, you mean Anthony Santos or Luis Vargas. You
Nah,
mean those days are over, man. Like you mean us
you gotta have
bachateros
your
got
own
to
swag,
represent
man.
our artwork too and show that
Yeah,
you mean we have an artistic side. Our cover art should now be reflecting our music. And
yep,
Vicente Cifuente, like I every time sometimes I just like oh can't wait till another single comes out so I could just see like the cover art and see what he does because I get
yeah,
inspired when I'm trying to come up with my own cover art looking at his.
yep. And even the mixing is a bit different. It reminds you of like Anderson Pack,
Yeah,
like that lo-fi
yeah,
type
yeah, lo-fi,
feel.
yeah.
It's really cool, but he's done songs with Victor Victor and
Hmm.
Vicente Garcia. He did a single with Vicente Garcia as well.
No way.
Yeah, man, it's on his first EP.
Dude,
You gotta listen.
I thought I listened to all. Dude, I had him on repeat, dude.
Yeah, you gotta
Sunday
listen. I'm gonna
cleaning.
send you. Yeah, I'm gonna send you the links. We'll link everybody here, so that way
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
kind of like listen
exactly,
to
yeah.
them. But yeah, Vicente, he's on my list as well.
Vicente
Um,
Cifuente.
my next person. He has two songs. Sadly, only two songs.
Oh, Manny,
Right.
you break. No, just kidding. I'm pretty sure there's good reason behind this. I
Um,
have a questionable one in my list too, but go ahead.
it's sad that he has two songs because this guy's he has something unique to offer in as far as like the bachata stuff. But his name is really hard to say, but it's Venturardo.
Venturardo.
Yeah, he has two songs, but one of the songs that really, for me at least, because I'm more like I listen to a lot of different music, so he mixes Japanese influence
Mm.
like
That sounds.
with bachata, and on top of that, he uses like sound effects to paint the landscape of the song. So
Okay.
instead of like the guira and the bongo and the guitar and whatever, he's using like ocean sounds and voices to put you on the like I guess the mindset that he was when he was singing this song. And the song is called La Isla, but you feel like you're on the island in Japan. Like you're like, what's going on
Is he
here?
Japanese?
No, I think he's Dominican.
Oh, Dominican
Pretty
living in
sure.
Japan.
I'm pretty sure he's Dominican. Yeah, the song is called La Isla, and it's just it starts off that way with water kind of like flowing,
Oh
and then he
snap!
goes
It's
into the
kind of talking your
bachata too.
language, man, with the
The
ambience
ambient stuff.
music.
I think that's
Yeah.
important, bro, because I think
No,
we
it
stick
is.
to the same formula, like
Yeah.
like bachata, bongo, guira, whatever. But this man, I don't know who produced the record or anything like that, but he he put that into the record, and you're like, damn, man,
How long
like I
ago did this?
feel,
How long ago is he? I mean, what is it? Social media actor, or what does he do?
bro. He put this record out in 2017,
Oh
which is
damn.
sad, and it looks like he just put another song out 2019, I Amor, but I haven't heard it, but yeah, man, this record came out in 2017, and it's fresh, man. Like it's something unique to me, and I feel like if more artists weren't afraid of what's not popular or whatever, they would do some damage, man. Like what I mean, like they just gotta explore shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, next on the list for me, I'm in third. Jr.
oh,
And
Jr.
Jr. should be number one. Well, we had to talk about this.
Yes, we did.
I'm Jr. For me is the reason why I even started putting out bachata music, hands down.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And me and another one of our friends, Melvin, um, same thing, man. We look up to this guy. He came out with this masterpiece called Eterno. To me, one of like till this day, I think, dude, I would hands down say it's my favorite bachata album.
Yeah, it's pretty much up there.
It's like I know some people are like, "Whoa, what about Aventura and Luis Vargas?" Is like, I love them stuff. It's like I
The
would.
top
I mean,
is
you can't call me crazy for saying it. Like I think it's timeless, dude. It's a timeless piece. Um, which is sad it didn't get as much movement as it should have gotten. I think
hmm
it did get a lot of movement, but I just think the wave he was creating, I felt like something blocked it somewhere along the
yeah.
line. Not him, because he was doing his thing. He was out there performing. He was out there putting his material, putting his videos, his music videos,
Yep.
all this work he's been doing leading up to this moment where he released
hmm
Eterno, because he's been releasing music here and there, and then finally coming out with a few singles, and then throwing out Eterno with the cover art, everything about it, the production, the collaborations with Chihre Quinto, um, his guitarist Denova, Damien, who's a beast. Um,
Yep.
it was just like this. That was his. This was his hour when he released that project, and
Apologies, I got like mad freaking sirens around me.
yeah, I can't hear it though. But dude, it's crazy, man. For me, he should be number, but he's been absent for a while. He's hinted that he's gonna be releasing music soon. I really hope he does. I
hmm
understand it won't be with his original guitarist, um, Denova,
Yep.
who did a lot of projects with him and created a lot of his sound in the beginning.
hmm
Um, but I talked to Damien. He said that he hopes that it's a good sound, and it's going to be a good sound. And we're all excited to hear what Jr. has to put. So
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to whatever Jr. puts out. That guy is to me the spearhead of this whole movement of underground bachateros. And as far as releasing a project, his album Eterno to me is like what every underground artist should be trying to put out, something
Yep.
like that.
It was a complete package
It was.
in so many ways, and I think JR was ahead of his time with
Yes.
his the style, the music itself, obviously the compositions, the recording, like everything was just like, where's this coming from? You know what I mean? Like it was
Out of
just
nowhere,
so
dude.
crazy.
When I ran into him, it was with not hacerte mía. It was the one that was like, tú serás
Residuals.
mía mañana. That
Yep.
one.
Yep. That's a good track too.
Yeah. Dude, I used to do when I was doing landscaping. I would listen to, I'd be listening to Bachata on repeat, bro.
But on top of that, he had like so much support from the bachata community because
Yes,
I remember that everybody was doing covers. Remember
everybody.
those cover days? And then JR was one of the few guys that was getting covers by us. Like
Yeah,
we were covering, and
I was
it was
covering
the
him.
Nova. The Nova's work was being covered basically,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
it was cool to hear when the record came out. Everybody bought that shit.
Dude,
Everybody.
I bought it, dude. I
Nobody
barely
buys
buy
anything.
albums like that, dude.
Yeah,
Like
nobody
I'm in an
buys
era where
anything.
I'm starting to just buy singles because I'm worried about the albums. I'm just like, nah,
Yeah,
this album. But dude, I
yeah,
bought
but
that album.
the artwork was fire. Like it was just like that Picasso type shit. And then on top of that, like it was just like, dude, from the beginning of the record, you hear the song, you're like, what the fuck is this? This is
He had a
so
lot. He brought a
fire.
lot of for him. When I listen to his music, I feel modern, but I feel super like because there's so much
Vintagey.
bolero in it.
It's vintage at the
There's a
same
lot of
time.
bolero in it, and it's like it's
Yeah,
bachata, but there's a lot of
yeah.
like more of the bolero. Like I guess it's so amarga and so it has so much sentimiento in it that you're just like, bro,
Hmm.
this is feelings right here, man.
Yep.
And
I agree, man.
yeah, dude, it makes you feel all these different types of feelings when you listen to his music in that album.
Yep.
There's not one. I mean, the way the tracks were organized and everything was perfect. It was smooth transitions. Everything was just. I felt like there was a lot of time put into it, and you can tell.
Yeah.
Like
There's a lot of
I can
care in it.
tell while he was creating this, he's like, I want to make a masterpiece. I'm not just gonna put all my singles I've done in the past before and everything. I want this to be special,
Yep.
and
I agree.
it was.
I agree, man.
So
Like I love the album.
as soon as he, yeah,
I wish there was another album like almost a year after, but shit
yeah.
kind of like.
Oh, dude, once he puts a new track on, he's gonna go right back to my number one.
That's how easy it is. All right, I'm
I got
gonna
to,
let's.
man. JR is just like, man, that's the dude, man. He started this movement.
Yeah.
All right. So
All right.
you
Going forward. Next, my next guy
your
here.
next guy.
You probably have heard of him, but maybe not. I don't know. Señorito.
Of course, man. Of course.
This
Ito.
man, Ito, is just a fucking beast. I'm sorry. This man can play fucking
Bro, I
guitar.
remember following back in the YouTube days. That was way back when he was doing his songs on YouTube with the guitar
It's
and singing.
yeah. This man can play the fucking guitar. And on top of that, what's interesting about his project is it's a live recording. It's a live record. And the way these songs came out, you're like, what the fuck? Like, how is this even possible?
Is he not signed?
I don't think he signed at all, man. Like,
I don't think he needs to be, man. He's rubbing shoulders with all the biggest bachata artists already. Like
yep.
I feel like as soon as he has a product that he wants to push out, it's gonna be easy as hitting somebody up. But he's
Hmm.
definitely very underrated.
Super underrated.
Very
And
underrated.
his album came out in 2016, which is like ancient, right? It doesn't have a lot of, I guess he didn't get the support that I feel like
No,
definitely
he didn't.
deserves. But on top of that, like when you see him on Instagram, like watch his videos live,
Mhm.
yo, this man is improvising
Yeah,
all the
all
fucking
the
time. Like
time.
all the merengues he does, all the bachatas, you're like, you kind of get used to the vibe, and you're like, all right, cool. And then he fucking goes and rips it. You're like, okay, like how the fuck did that happen? You know what I mean? Like he's so nasty. And the cool thing about this, and maybe a lot of people don't know this, but I'll give you a little insight. He's the one recording Segunda Guitarra for the Nova on the Nova's records.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So according to the Nova, he's the best Segunda he's ever heard in his life, and that's coming from the Nova. And this man doesn't. This man records primera like he does a requinto. You know what I mean? Like that speaks high of
Dude, it does,
Señorito's skill.
man. When you get
You know what I mean?
something like that from a requinto, like that's
Yep.
big, dude.
It is, and like if you haven't heard this album, you definitely have to hear it because it's just the lyrics, the recording, like just everything is just amazing about this. I love this record. Love
Yeah,
it.
for anybody who doesn't know who Señorito is, he used to go by Ito, and really great artist. So also look up his former artist name, because I would hate for you to put Señorito and not find some of some of his older stuff, which is freaking phenomenal.
Yep.
I honestly feel like he was kind of ahead of his time a little bit too, because I was hearing him like way back, and I remember I mean after he started releasing his songs, that there was like a storm of people that kind of were trying to do, because the thing is it's kind of hard to know who knows who, because everybody kind of knows each other, so you never know who kind of started the idea or the train. The thing is that none of us really get too mad about that. We're just all happy that somebody's pushing something forward. So it's all about putting content out there, but it is kind of hard to pinpoint who started what sometimes.
Exactly, but it's cool, man. Like I think I think so far, like all these guys here on this list are doing something that is unique to bachata, and I'm trying not to be biased and talk about the guys that I work with, but
but the thing is that me and you are so connected to this community that we do talk to the people that like should be on this list. I mean, if somebody else out there has a different list than me, I'm pretty sure at least one of my guys are going to be on that list. I mean, and I bet, hey, the listeners, I'm pretty sure you can mention a few people and be like, oh yeah, that dude's. But I gotta pick. You mean, at some point, preference does take. You mean, and this is why we're talking about it, because we want to hear other people's top 5 and what they think and why and stuff. Manny's just, you mean, throwing down some details about some of these artists that I didn't know. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty plugged into this community. So, but yeah. Next up.
Yep.
Next up for me, at number 2, my man, DeNova.
Oh.
So I got a thing about bachata. When it comes to bachata, your bachata is trash if you don't have a good requinto.
Yep.
You're just a cookie cutter bachata, like that hired some dude to play the guitar on A or B flat or whatever note you decided to choose, unless you got some mastermind. I mean, that's what made change the game. I mean, originally, like the Luis Vargas, Frank Reyes, I mean, they were playing the guitar, so it's like they took care of business right there. They made sure nobody had to be like, oh, is the requinto? No, they're just straight up like, the artist is playing the guitar, let him sing and do his thing, and then they crush it during their solo. So nobody ever questioned requintos until I think I would say Aventura created that, because Romeo didn't play the guitar in the tracks. Lenny did.
Yep.
I mean, and Lenny created these sounds that everybody loves. It's almost like you like it for that. If you just heard the instrumentals of Aventura, you'd freaking be jamming. You're like, oh my God. And then you sing the words because you know it, because Romeo wrote them. They're amazing. But that was one thing for me when JR came around. I was like, this guy has got something. He sounds different, and whoever's playing his requinto got it. That's what we need. You need some to sound good, to have a good record. You need somebody, because the requinto is just like the songwriter. You mean it's almost like a duet. It's the lead singer, and then there's the requinto that's singing along with you. And if you just have someone like behind you while you're singing all your thing, that's boring. That's cookie cutter bachata right there, bro. You hired somebody to just play in the key of whatever. But when you got somebody that tailors their notes, and this is where it comes full circle back to Damien, back to DeNova. That's what DeNova did with JR, and now he's an artist now. Surprising to me, this fool can sing. This dude is an amazing, and I've been, me and DeNova have known each other for a while. Like we mean back and forth since when I created Abismo. Actually, before that, back when I was getting advice from JR, and you mean in the hey man, keep moving forward, motivation from JR. DeNova started following me, and I started following him. And one of my friends, Tony, who's also a really great requinto, they both kind of like knew each other and respect each other. So like we had all these mutual friends. I follow anybody who's a requinto. If you're a requinto and you're playing, I follow you, because they're the ones that make or break a song. They make or break a song. And to hear, and the thing is, JR kind of went his own way, and DeNova was kind of left with, he tried something with Aphrodisiac, which it should have kept going but didn't. But then when he was like, whatever, man, I'm just gonna release my own song, my own music. Usually when people do that, they go through these growing pains with the singing part. This fool sings. I was like, bro, why didn't you release music a long time ago? He's like, yeah, you know, man, I'm working with this person. Working. No, bro, you should have done this a long time ago. This
Yep.
guy's song, I think the first one he came out on his own was Cruel. Was it Cruel or Ya Basta?
Ya basta.
Ya Basta. And
Yeah.
then Cruel. Bro,
Yeah.
this guy's voice, it does, nobody else has this voice in bachata. Nobody.
Nobody.
I don't think nobody ever.
And the requinto's being copied by other artists. To
The
be
requinto,
honest,
it's his requinto, so it's
it's his
his
requinto style.
style.
Yeah,
Nobody
his
could take
style.
that from. That's him. So they
Yep.
can't be like, oh, Denova trying to. No, bro, that's
Nah,
him. That's his.
that's him. That's his flow, man. Like
Dude's
the
an
way,
animal,
yeah,
bro.
the hammer-ons that pull offs, like the way he plays the guitar is just
His voice,
stupid.
dude. Like
Yep.
it's he's got the full package, man, and it's
Yeah.
insane. And he does a lot of his own production, and he's already got the network to do all the other stuff that he needs.
Yeah, man.
So we're just gonna keep hearing more great singles from him, and we'll talk about. Is I want to do a little thing at the end about the whole what me and Denova talk about, and what Denova's mentioned. Jr. said the Bachata conspiracy, but but for right now, dude, this guy's gonna just be big in
He
our
is, man.
community, and he's gonna be. To me, he's a legend. He's already
Yeah.
a legend,
He's
and
already up there.
and I don't know what forces are out there trying to keep him down, but you can't. When somebody is their own producer and their own, they can do all the work.
Songwriter.
You can't stop that person. You got to jump
Arrangement.
on the train, man, before it becomes a bandwagon. You got
Yeah,
to.
he does everything, and you know I've been I've been lucky because I feel mad blessed because I've been working with him and
Yeah,
I do his mastering.
yeah.
You know, and when he sends me the stuff to like listen to, I'm like, dude, this shit's wild. He's like,
Wild.
nah. I'm like, dude, this shit is
Sky's
crazy.
the limit for him because he's the one doing the requintos.
He's doing the requinto, and I like his work ethic as well. He's like a perfectionist when it comes to his music, because I think he's trying to say something and leave like a stamp behind. And I think that's something that's important. And I think a lot of artists need to consider that when they're putting music out. They have to put music out, but they also have to be proud of what the work that they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And have their own sound. And I feel that it's happening again. Like everybody's trying to find their own way of making music. Like you sound like Alma Real.
Mm-hmm.
De Nova sounds like De Nova.
Yeah, we all sound like ourselves.
Yeah, everybody's trying to sound very separate. And you know,
Yeah.
like before, I don't know, there was a period after
It was like when one
Aventura
song was
came out.
hitting hot, then everybody else tried to it happened with Aventura,
Yeah.
where everybody's trying to have that high pitched voice and stuff. Only a few people were like extreme, and Prince Royce were able to like stay relevant. But there was tons of art because they kind of slightly sound a little different. But there's so
Mhm.
many other artists that sound exactly like that person.
Yeah,
And
it was
then there
boring.
was, yeah, dude, there was a lot of that going on, dude. A lot. Everybody
Yeah,
was
and-
trying to sound just like the next bachata artist, and then it would be something like Prince Royce puts a Motown bachata record, and then everybody was trying to put
Try to put a Motown.
and they were even
record, blah,
singing it
blah,
the way he was singing it. Like
Yeah.
they might have a different voice, but they're still trying to copy the style, and it was just
blah. Yeah.
like,
It was boring, you know. And now I guess once the whole transition, I think the next phase, like you mentioned earlier, was that next phase was when Jr. put his album out.
yeah, that changed everything.
Everybody was like, you know what, fuck this. Let's just make our own records
Yeah.
and our own style. And I think that's what's happening now is everybody has their own style, but Mr. Damien, Mr. DeNova, is like the spearhead of that sound because
Well, he
he's
was there
pushing
when JR was
boundaries.
doing that. I mean, he was making those sounds.
yeah, man, he's pushing boundaries and the production quality is just wild.
It
You know what
is.
I mean? So I don't know. He's not on the list because I work with him and I'm trying to be I'm trying to be out of the box. Like I have a list of people that I don't work with
Yeah.
on this podcast, but there's a lot of guys I work with. I'm like I could just say their name and be like I'm super biased. I don't care, but but I'm trying to be a bit. I'm trying to dig deeper and kind of like see a different angle.
I think with me, I purposely work with people that I know are the top 5 because I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
what up?
Like-
Let's collab, bro.
yeah, right.
'Cause me and Deno have been talking about collabing for a while. I'm trying to get him to produce one of my tracks, but
Do it.
I know I need to step up my game on a lot of areas to be working with people like that because those people, they're gonna be big, super big one day, and people are gonna go back and look at their catalog and they're gonna be like, damn, You want them to be like, yo, this guy was working with good people in the beginning. You don't want them to be like, yo, growing pains. This guy had to work with scrubs before. I want people to look back when they're like when Melvin or you mean De Novo were working with Alma. It was like, yo, Alma was at least headed somewhere. You mean that?
Somewhere he had some sort of thing going on, but yeah.
Yeah. Now he's just some washed up podcast host, looking at
That's
other people
funny.
live the dream.
That's fucked up, bro.
Take one for la
Anyway,
cultura, man.
right?
All right.
My next guy, and this is my last guy on my list because a lot of the guys that you had, I had
Yeah,
on my list as
Vicente.
well. Johandi. I don't know if you know who that is. Young
Uh,
kid, super young kid.
no, I haven't heard
Oh,
him.
he's like 21, 22.
I'm gonna be mad.
Um,
I think I'm following him because
you might be.
you might have made a post and then I like if you make any post about bachatero, I'm usually like I'll look at it and then because I know you're following them, you're out there. I think you do a lot more scouting than I do. That's probably because you
I
have the record
that's part of
company
my
and the
thing.
publishing
Yeah,
company. It's like kind of your job, but
yeah. But I've known Johandi for God, at least 5, 6 years. But we never really hung out, never really spoke. Because he was doing music, but he was doing something different. But then he got together with Chavi. You know Chavi.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
they
Wimmer's
started
brother.
making records. They started making music like left and right. And the music that Johandi is making and writing, and on top of that, writing, which is I think so important nowadays, is just like so well written and so thought out, and the production matches his style so good. He's and on top of that, he's performing. You know what I mean? And he's doing this thing, and he's kind of like the weird part about him is he's so humble that he. I've spoken to him. He doesn't know what if he wants to keep going making music or kind of like just release a record here and there and blah blah blah. But this guy has a future if he goes for it. If he goes for it, he has a future. This guy is super talented, man. Like crazy, crazy, crazy.
Dang, he's at that. How like is this got a big following or what,
He doesn't have a big following. He's done records with Mr. Dong,
Mr.
which is
Donya?
kind of cool. Yeah, because I think they're on the same either the same label, EQS,
Okay.
and he's done music. He's done songs with DJ Khaled. He's one of the DJs that
Oh
does like
wow.
bachata remixes thing. But yeah, he's doing his thing. It's just I don't want him
Stop.
to stop, man.
It's
You
one
gotta
of
do what
those
you gotta
things.
do.
Yeah.
But you know when you have the talent, it's rare to have a full talent. You know what I mean? Like being able to sing, be able to write,
Yeah.
compose, and everything else. It's not, and it comes naturally to this kid. You know what I mean? Like I talk to him, and it doesn't even like I talk to him, and I see him here and there. Like you wouldn't be able to tell he's an artist. He's just like a regular dude. He looks like a
Really.
regular dude. But when you're like, yeah, he sings, and you hear his music, you're like, holy shit! Like this guy has like he has that energy. You know what I mean? Like you gotta listen to his records. I'll send you some
Yeah,
of
yeah.
his stuff,
Send it to
but
me,
it's
man.
really
Dude,
good stuff,
I
man.
love this
Seriously.
podcast, man.
Yeah.
I'm about to get some more music in my playlist. We talk all the time, and it's crazy. It's just there's so much going on, so many
Yeah, because
projects
we're
we're working on.
working.
Sometimes that's why I'm glad
Yeah.
we're doing this, cause
You're right.
I can't wait to hear the comments from like the listeners as well to see what
Yep.
their top five is. Hopefully, we can get some traffic in this one, cause I would like to hear some
Some feedback, some
some
thoughts.
feedback, some thoughts, like what you think your top five. Like I
Mhm.
really want to get the audience engaged here. Uh,
Absolutely.
and I would maybe even release like little videos here and there about like some some artists that people put us onto that we want
Yep.
to talk about.
Yeah. And we can only talk about the people that we know, like the
Exactly.
artists that
There's
we don't know every single
a
artist out
month
there.
ago I didn't know J Fab and Paola,
Yep.
and they were freaking crushing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly. So
next up on the list,
your last one,
last
basically.
one, Melvin War. This
Holy
means
shit.
war.
Uh, yep.
Yo, my boy Melvin, this kid is got a future. This guy is
Yes.
constantly pumping out records, hit records.
Yep.
He's dude. The DJs love him. They
Oh
spin him
god.
all the time.
Yep.
The crowd loves him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the Drake of bachata. Like,
He is
you
though.
can't hate
That's
him,
the
bro.
crazy part.
You
That's the
can't say
crazy
we
part.
can't be stopped now. Yo,
Yeah.
Melvin, this guy is another again requinto that decided I'm gonna do my own music.
Yep.
And I think his first one was Antidote. I did a
Antidote.
cover for that one way back.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. Was that time you were telling artists like, hey, why don't artists do covers of another artist?
Yeah.
And so I did Antidote, and it was
Oh,
me
I gotta
like
hear this.
going baby, and I was like banging on the freaking. You don't remember that video? The
Nah, I
little
don't
video. It
remember.
was one of my most played videos, man. I was kind of like a little bitter than my video with the
Those
most.
dumbest
It got like
songs.
2,000 plays. I was like, what? This isn't even my song. It's just me banging on the beatboxing on like. I was banging on the table singing Antidote, and I did gave
That's
my own
funny.
little twist of it. I'll send it to you.
Dope.
But writes his music, um, produces, mixes, engineer,
Hmm.
and I think you do his mastering now, right? Or you do some
I've
of his
done
mastering.
some of his mastering. I
Some of
think
his mastering.
his twin brother, does the
His
mastering.
twin brother, yeah, they just
Yeah.
released a song called "The Low."
Yes.
Masterpiece. It's crazy. Anyways, a little bit about Melvin. This guy's work ethic. This guy is a genius. Like I sent him two of my songs, Espejismo Celoso.
I remember that.
In
Yep.
2 days, this fool gave me something back.
Yep.
Literally, I would say it was one day. It just kind of took 2 days because we had to change a few things in there. And like his requintos were just out of this world. Like it
Crispy.
caught it caught this ambient kind of like vibe, kind of like a weekend Majid Jordan type of vibe, and took
Hmm.
my like song. Like I heard every time I send him one of my songs, what I'll do is I'll send him, like me singing, and then he'll return, he'll email me back requintos, and it's not what I would have ever imagined. It's like 10
Yeah.
times better than whatever I had imagined. I was like,
Yep.
damn, I didn't even hear the song like that. And ever since we started working together, and he'll send me like his projects before he puts them out and stuff. You mean for feedback and stuff like that. He does that a
Hmm.
lot with the people in his circle. I'm just like, where is this kid coming up with this? Like every day,
Yep.
there's like, hey, bro, check this new track I'm working on. But like, bro, you got like 7 tracks in the making. And the thing is he's not one of those people that like. There's a lot. I know a lot of great artists that they hold on to a track and they keep on holding on to it and holding on to it, and then it'll be like 3 years later and they still haven't released the track.
Nah, it's
This
never
fool is
working.
always releasing music, and it's always
Yeah.
like you would think that he spent like. And I just give him like this. He's got like a genius to him, kind of like a Kanye of bachata,
He's
I would
wild.
say,
Yeah.
where
He's out of here.
he can come out with a product real fast, and it's like not it's high quality.
Hmm.
It's definitely tailored. It's
And not
top
only
notch
that,
music.
it sounds like Melvin. It sounds like
Sounds like
Melvin.
Melvin. Uh,
You know.
my sound is like Melvin. People listen to my like the only thing that separates me from him is me singing on it. But when people listen to my track, they're like, "You're working with Melvin, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm working with Melvin."
You could tell. You could tell. It's
Like
his
with
like
Denova and
the
Jr. Like when you hear
yeah.
Denova and you hear Jr.'s music, you're
You
like,
already know.
"That's the creator is behind that,
Yep.
the mastermind."
That's a mastermind.
But like I said,
Exactly.
when it comes to making and breaking your music, a lot is the requinto. And Melvin, when he writes his music, with this kind of Drake-ish type vibe, he also, I'll stick with the guitars. The guitars, like they're like parts in the song that you can't wait to hear. It's like a lot
Yep.
of his requintos, and then his solo. So you get
Yeah.
excited for here it comes. Here goes the solo. What's he gonna do now? And it's
Yep.
like none of them are not like they're not crazy. Like it requires some crazy guitar skill to do. They're just
Hmm.
like yo, how like I want to play that. Like it makes you want to cover uh his music. And then another thing he does, which is amazing, is with a lot of the music I've worked with him, and in a lot of his music, there's not much instrumentation in it.
There isn't. And
He
he doesn't
literally
use a
takes his
standard.
vocals, he takes his own vocals and creates soundscapes and everything that fill the void. So you feel
Yep.
like you're in this like kind of other world
Yeah.
when you're listening to his music. But like you can send if you ever work with Melvin and you just send him your reference to your vocals, he's gonna send something back to you. You're gonna be like, I don't remember recording that. he's gonna, and then he's gonna send you
I
like a
love
winky
all
face with the
this.
tongue sticking out. And he literally took some piece of your vocals,
Yeah.
engineered the crap out of it, and made it sound like you mean the
Soundscape.
man is a
It's crazy.
producer, and his
Yeah.
music and like sky's the limit for this kid as well
Yeah.
because, I mean he's his requinto, and then his twin brother is you mean collaborate with him. He told me they got more in the works, so
Yep.
I mean, it's just gonna be more. I'm looking forward to. I got a few songs coming out with him as well. Like I said, I try not to keep it biased, but you got to give credit. This guy has captured the dance community as well. That I haven't seen anybody like since JR as far as like these people in my list
Hmm.
capture. Oh,
No,
they
I,
love him.
I agree. I agree. And the thing is about Melvin, he has such a cool like personality. He's so chill. He's funny as fuck.
Goofy
This
as
man's
hell,
crazy. Yeah, he's
bro.
super
Like
goofy, man. Like
you
he's
try to get work
wild.
done in a WhatsApp group message, and this fool,
Forget about it.
you forget, and then he'll
It's
send
funny.
something in there. It's like, yeah, we're still working, boys. You're like, oh yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
that's right.
he's mad chill, man. Like he's so chill. I've been working with Melvin since 2016, the first album that we did together. Um, he was on there, and I've seen his evolution as an artist, as a producer, and even as a performer, man. Like I'm so proud of him as like he's like my brother. Like I feel like he's my brother. Like I'm so
Yeah,
proud of Melvin and the work that he's doing. And on top of that, he's not afraid to fuck shit up. He's not afraid to do that at all.
no, he's
Like
not,
you know, and like in the way he not only that, but the way he sings and his way of like melodies and stuff like that on his records, they're different.
bro.
They don't even sound like bachata, but they're bachata.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the way he delivers his lyrics, you're like, what the fuck? Like, do I have to like rewind this shit? Like, I don't understand what's going on, and it's so cool. And he does it and he's bilingual. You know, he's not afraid to sing in Spanish or English, which is really cool.
yeah.
But on top of that, like, I think when we did that record, "Kiss Me" with Lola Jane,
Wow, yeah.
and that was a while ago for us. But
Great
like,
collab though. Good
yeah,
job on
man,
getting
like
those two to work together.
it was just like that was a record for volume 2, and I was like, I've been listening to Lola's songs through Randy, and I was like, yo, this shit would sound crazy in a bachata. So I reached out to Melvin, and I've been thinking about reaching out to him, and then we reached out to him, and I was like, yo, do you think you could do this on a bachata? Yo, send me the vocals. That's
Dude,
Melvin.
that's the thing. It's
That's
sky's
Melvin.
the limit, dude. That's why I love working with him because I can sing anything and then send it
Yeah,
to him and he'll make it a bachata.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
He's like, oh, send me the vocals. I was like, all right, cool. So I got the vocals from Lola, and I sent it to him. And the first track that we were supposed to do, they didn't fit because of the tempo. So Randy suggested "Kiss Me." I was like, all right, cool. Send it to me, and I sent it to
Wow,
Melvin.
really? It
Yeah.
wasn't
So the
even the
first
song that was
song,
gonna be.
yeah, the first song that I picked, I was
Wow.
like, yo, this shit's
Kiss Me
hot.
was
But
on deck and it
"Kiss Me"
knocked it
was
out of the park.
he killed it, man. Like, and I remember mixing that song. I'm like, holy fucking shit, this shit is crazy. And that's when Melvin started developing that lo-fi reverby voice and
Yeah,
the
I
guitar and the
love it.
requinto, low key requinto, like it's there, but it's not there, like at the same
He
time.
changes up the segunda a lot too, which is what I like because
Yeah.
usually it's like dum, ding, dum, ding, dum, ding, dum, ding, dum, dum,
No, he
and
doesn't do segunda like
he
that.
does a doom 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 like the
Yeah.
nice like just
Yeah, it's like
very
a acoustic
flowy.
segunda
Yeah,
in a,
and
in a
he'll
way.
do the original segunda style every once in a while and stuff when it
Yeah.
permits. But when he knows he can switch it up, he'll
Get
do
away
it.
with it.
And
Yeah.
it makes him stand out. It kind of made me kind of bitter with a remix that's coming up where I was like, damn, bro, Melvin stands out on this one. I feel
I'm
like
excited.
Jay
I'm
Z when he
excited.
let Eminem get on his record.
Yeah, man,
But
it's wild when I think he's doing well. He's gonna keep doing well, and on top of that, he's not afraid to explore and collaborate and kind of like blend styles, man. Like I'm excited to see his future, and I'm also excited to see everybody else that's on
yeah,
this list what they come up with.
I feel like
And
it goes to the point where I wanted that I was talking about earlier. Um, like the future for these people. I feel like Melvin is gonna be one of those guys that the industry is gonna have to take him in.
yeah,
I feel like
if
there's
he wants to,
for all these
if he wants
artists,
to,
I feel like there's a lot of pushback on them. There's like some kind of ceiling that I can't really get my finger around. It's
yeah.
keeping them, but thanks to things like Spotify and stream, like you can only try to ignore them because the labels are still pushing out cookie cutter bachata. They're still doing it.
Oh yeah,
And you would
it's
think that they would
easy.
stop that because you mean there's these people making noise on the underground in bachata music, and we're taking over the dance floors, and the DJs are starting to play our stuff over the other stuff,
Yep.
and it's the industry still hasn't taken note to it, and now we got this thing coming out where you can buy your first a million, like these labels are buying their views in the Latin industry. Luna,
Mhm.
a good friend of mine who's also a great bachatero, was talking about. I think he was the one that sent me the screenshot or the article. I was talking about in Latin music where they're buying their views and their plays in the
On
beginning.
YouTube and whatever.
And what that does is in the algorithm, it pushes them forward over the guys that are actually trending. I mean,
Yeah.
like, yes, those artists are going to get the millions of views anyway, but then it kind of like the amount of traction that the independent artists are getting in are now just going way to the back because this person gets a million views in 2 hours.
Wow.
Like a million people are just watching it at the same time.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well,
So I've been looking up algorithms and stuff a lot lately.
I know.
Just like my other business and everything, and it's interesting
Yeah.
to see that that's going on in the industry, and but all these people we've mentioned in our list are definitely organically grown.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. No matter what happens, as far as like how the industry is going to take them, or whether they're going to take them, whether they're not going to take them, they're going to be fine because there's these platforms and they've organically created this fan base, and the industry can only ignore them for so long. One of these
You're
big
right.
artists are going to have to do a song with Melvin.
They're gonna have
or
to.
with
They're gonna see
Denova.
this. Yeah, and they have to just keep. They have to keep making music. The right people will find you. You know what I mean? Like the right
I
people
feel
will
like
find you.
the right people, because I feel like the people on the top know who they are.
Oh,
There's no way
absolutely.
you
They know
don't
it.
know who they are.
Yeah.
There's no way that these guys at top don't know who JR. Like, dude, I
Yeah.
promise you, Romeo Santos knows who JR is.
Yep.
There's no way he
Everybody
doesn't know.
knows. They know.
If you
Trust
don't,
me,
I'm like, bro, you are doing your genre a disservice, bro.
Yep.
But they know.
I agree. No, they know. They know about YouTube, bro. So there you go.
It's like, come on, man, you're a huge artist. You need not once to think that who's coming up behind you.
Yeah, they listen to these playlists. Come on, let's be serious. These
Yeah.
Spotify playlists like Bachata Rising, there's a lot of underground guys there. I'm sure that Royce and Romeo and the guys at Sony and the guys at freaking Rock, wherever they are,
Yeah.
they listen to this shit.
I don't know if they're just little. Oh, I think a lot of it they have to make some moves like in the name of culture to get it
Yeah.
out there.
That's
Because
it.
I don't know if it's one of the things where like, well, I don't think it's gonna work. Not, I don't think that's it, because it does work in the community.
Yep.
So I don't know. Romeo looks like he's changing his stripes on a
approach.
lot of things. It looks like he's caring more about the culture now. I'm not saying he did it in the past, but I think more so now. Like he said,
Yeah.
he's not chasing the Grammys. He's not. He's
I don't think he cares. Well,
He doesn't
listen
care
to our
anymore.
episode, our Romeo episodes, and you'll know that what we're talking about here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go, man. Thank you for having me today, man. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, bro. You need to freaking. I know you've been moving and stuff. Manny's been moving and stuff. But we're gonna start fixing up our content. We're gonna get it better looking, better sounding. That way the listeners can enjoy it. A lot of people want to see our faces too.
Yeah.
Talking. So we want to make sure that we get some better quality video out there. But as for now, it's just what we're talking about and what you guys are talking about too. We need you guys to comment. Let us know what your top 5 are. Underground, unsigned, doing big things, and we will give it a listen.
Absolutely. You can always find us, like I always say, La Cultura Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and send us an email on our bio. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah. Also on YouTube, check us out.
Yes, sir.
We need to get our subscribership up. We're gonna try to do a challenge here to get because there's a lot of people that listen to us but haven't subscribed yet, and it would really help with if you were to subscribe with the algorithms and everything. We're trying to get ourselves out there and get more people talking about La Cultura, and we want to be a part of that.
Awesome.